Hello, everyone. Welcome to Trusting the Leadership Instincts That No One Taught You. I'm Deborah Brown-Volkman, and I'm here with Amy Clark. Hello, Amy.
Hi, good morning. Hi, everybody. Good to see you, Deborah.
Yeah, it's always wonderful to see you.
Yeah.
Let's introduce ourselves. So I am a certified career coach. I'm a career reinvention expert. I'm a career goals advisor to executives in Fortune 500 companies. I'm also a LinkedIn, a new job search strategist, but a professional search strategist. And my superpower on LinkedIn is to help you shine. And
Mhm.
I think it's really important because, especially in leadership, who we are and who we want to become. Your LinkedIn profile is a reflection of that. When someone searches on you, and this isn't just for job searching, this is, I want to do business with you, I want to meet you. One of the first things they see is your LinkedIn profile. So it has to look as good as it can be. And if anyone has any questions about that, you can ask me afterwards. Okay, Amy?
Hi, and thank you, Deborah. And good morning, everyone. I'm Amy Clark. I'm a C-suite coach and strategist and an author as well. I work with senior leaders in their organizations during their high stakes transition. So specializing in first 100 days, you may have seen me talk about that and how that's the pivotal moment. That's your window. It's long enough to make impact, short enough to really create the sense of urgency. But these things can carry forward beyond your 100 days. As I mentioned, I'm the author of Unseen Leadership and excited to share. It is now available through my pre-sale campaign, exclusive campaign that offers some perks along with purchasing the book now. So, we're going to have some conversation about, both of our views on this. And, I think, Deborah, I don't really remember when we connected because that's probably a good thing because I think we connected so much in a very meaningful way in the work that we do and what our beliefs are. And we were talking about before going live how much I love your videos. And so folks, if you haven't seen Deborah's videos, just go out and look at them. Whether you're in a job search mode or not, it really gives you some good thoughts about reinventing yourself. And the things that she shares, you can really look at the moment you're in right now and it'll be helpful for you. So really looking forward to our conversation today.
Oh, that's so awesome. Yes, we met a few years ago. We met on LinkedIn,
Yeah.
our LinkedIn, and there was an event in New York City. We saw each other.
Yeah.
We just connected. That's the power. That is the power of
Yeah.
LinkedIn. That's the
Yeah.
power. Okay, so I want to talk about your book. So I am a beta reader. Oh my God, so New York beta reader. And you sent me a copy of the book, and I absolutely positively love it. I actually feel like it moved me and it shifted
Wow.
something in me. And the book isn't done yet. The book is, I got up
Mhm.
to the part of before you implement the care model. And I just was so touched and I was so moved and I loved it. And also this book was written by you. There's no AI in this book.
Yeah.
It is all you. It is you putting your heart and soul into it. I'm going to give a little spoiler alert because in the beginning of the book, you speak about you were giving a presentation and someone in the room, maybe this person didn't like you or whatever, maybe power or dominance. That's what I felt like. And
Mhm.
you made a mistake and they took advantage of it to point it out to you. And it made you feel bad about yourself. And at that moment, you lost a little bit of yourself. And someone said, Amy, watch out, watch out
Mhm.
what you say, watch out what you do. And it squashed you a little bit. And in that moment, there was some reflection in this book. You have to really, really read and get into. But I think it was part of you writing this book and reaching out to other people to say, have you ever felt like this? You ever felt like you
Mhm.
really couldn't really be yourself in the workplace? I know what it's like, and
Mhm.
I'm here for you. So
Mhm.
tell us about this masterpiece that you're working on right now.
Yeah, thank you, Deborah. For as long as I can remember, I've always cared deeply about how I come across, and that can be good and bad. Um, it comes from, whether I'm seen, I'm heard, if people will remember me. So the moment you mentioned that's in the introduction to the book, I had felt that for a long time anyway, but that it felt like I was standing on a trap door. Somebody hit the red button and said, "You're out." I mean, that's the feeling sometimes you get. The floor just releases beneath your feet. Um, And so what happened was, I was in this swirl because, again, how are people going to see me? Am I going to be remembered for this? And so in that moment, I start performing. I don't mean performing my job, performing. I was crafting optics. I was polishing up my messages, right? So I didn't mess it up. And I know I'm not alone in this because I've worked with hundreds of leaders, from managers to CEOs, who've been in that place where so many live at the crossroad of wanting to make an impact and not wanting to get it wrong. And so we spin in questions. When you're thinking about our words, right? And just far enough so we're still feeling safe. And so unseen leadership came out of years of my own carrying the pressure, carrying uncertainty, but working with leaders as they build their own capacity for what their business is becoming, not what it's been, because the future demands more of us. And when we think about being impressive, right? We think about these scripts we were taught, they get us to a point, and then we hit a wall. So unseen leadership is really thinking about what we can see and hear that others can't or won't. How you move yourself and others towards a future still unseen. I mean, that takes a lot. And the part that we don't talk about enough is that the hardest limits to the break are the ones that look like leadership. And so, Deborah, you talked about these instincts, and that's part of it. And we need to interrupt them. Because we need to shift from that. And so, and I think it really gets to how your leadership outlasts you, because once you start doing it, you're giving others the permission to do the same.
Yes, right. So let's talk about instincts, right? So we first set up this live. It was the instincts that no one taught you. But it is interesting because the book talks about the instincts that you're using, but they're more of survival, like more of afraid, more fear, more afraid to take a risk, to put yourself out there. So there are instincts that help you to protect you, but on the other hand, they're holding you back. And as a leader, you want to make an impact, you want to make a difference, but you can't because something's going to happen to me, or my culture is risk averse. Or maybe you're in the wrong place, but these instincts are there to help you. But at a certain point, I think that they can hold you back.
Yeah, definitely. And like I talk with people about, and I have to remind myself, we're all born with these survival instincts. It's our impulse. That's how we're wired. And we naturally want to think about, how do I remove the cognitive load that this is giving me right now? What is the easiest path for me? And that is when we give in to these instincts, and we're not growing in that way, and we're not helping other people grow. And one of them, for instance, is this idea, again, to protect ourselves, protect what we know, our ideas, protect us from facing our fears. And success, by the way, people have a fear of success because now my bar is raised. How am I going to meet it again? And so all of these things come from our natural instincts. And when I say interrupt them, it's how you are allowing them to move you forward, and how you can use them in a way that really lifts your leadership to what is needed from people that count on you.
That's right. I think we become leaders because we want to make a difference. We want to make an impact. Like, it's a big deal to go from the manager level to a leadership. Leadership means I'm going to share my ideas. I want to get more involved in strategy. I want to manage people. I want to lead. And you get excited, but then things happen to you. And then that excitement goes away. And imagine if you could let all that go. And that's what I really think, because the other piece of the book hasn't been written yet. I really can't wait, but I was imagining that the next piece would be to actually become yourself and to live into that vision of the leadership that you had before all that stuff went in the way, and you got out of your comfort zone and you went for it and you gave it your best shot. It's almost like a relationship. You can't leave a situation or leave a relationship until you give it your best shot. And I'm not saying leave your job, but I'm saying imagine if you could go for it and give it your best shot and say that you did it. And then from there, it either works or it doesn't work. But then you have options. You're not waiting. You're like, I went for it, and now I will decide what I want to do next for me.
Yeah. And you're going to be getting the rest of the book soon.
Ooh, can't
So
wait, can't wait.
it's coming to an inbox near you
Oh, I
very
love
soon.
it.
Yeah, and so I look forward to all the edits over the summer, and conversations like this help me learn more and think about how to even bring it to life even more. But to your point, we must lead from the inside out. Leadership starts with leading ourselves. Okay. And it is not about becoming someone else. I tried that. I'm sure many of you have had that circumstance. I've seen that with other leaders. The best way I can describe when that happens is awkward. I feel awkward, so I look awkward, and people like they're awkward. And so, it's really finding that true you. And when I talk about lead from a place no one taught you to trust, because we're taught to our expertise matters. It's what gets us promoted many times. That we have to feel like we're in control. When I was in that room, I mean, I felt like I just like I could almost see, and I can still see it now. Like I was just shrank, and the whole room got bigger and bigger. It was like I was in a funhouse mirror or something. I don't know, but and so we have to know the answers, and we have to get things right. And again, these take you to a point, but your point, Deborah, on leadership. So management is thinking about how do I keep things moving along and make sure we're doing things right. Leadership is, are we doing the right things? Are we thinking in the right way? And so it goes beyond your expertise at that moment. It'll help you, but it's not what you lean into once you become a leader and once you are counted on to build a strategy, execute a strategy with your team. So these are the things that when we talk about care and leadership, it is within yourself, but how do you do that with your people? And how do you do that from an organizational view too?
Yeah, and I think this is an important conversation, and I think it's the perfect time for this conversation. I was in the workplace for 12 years. I ran sales and marketing programs, and I really wanted to be myself. I have a lot of energy, and
Yeah.
and people would say, "Oh, Deb, it's too much." Like I would lead. Back then, it was conference calls. I'm kicking it old school right now, and I would say, "Hi, everyone. It's so nice to see you. Thank you for being here." And people would say stuff. "Oh no, you can't be that way. You can't be excited. Just greet people." I'm like, why not? Why can't there be some energy? And but I left. I left the corporate world, and I said, I want to have my own business. And that's how I can be myself. But imagine if I didn't leave. Imagine if I would have stayed, and I would have done the work that I'm doing now to become myself, and I was myself. I think who knows? Like I could have made a different impact. Maybe, I mean, my path is my path, but if I've stayed and if I truly would have been myself, maybe I could have done great things there.
Well, when you think back to that, then what did you lean on the most when you went from the corporate to your own thing? Like, what did you lean on the most as you kind of knew you had some freedom there to be you?
Oh, I got to be myself. I got to have energy.
Yeah.
It was the energy piece. I felt like
Yeah.
my energy was squashed, and my light was being dimmed, and I said no more. I said no more. I mean, it actually worked out for the best, because now I get to help people, undim their lights. But
Yeah.
it's not a fun thing to go through. No,
No.
no, 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 no.
No. And I think with what you do, for his people are looking, excuse me, for their next opportunity, or thinking about their career when they're in something, I it's really helping people see, this was your identity for so long. What's my identity now? What do I want that to be? And, I want, I want unseen leadership to help people see what it could be like.
Mhm.
I have been in corporate all of my career. I say my career grew up in male-dominated industries, and I had amazing male mentors, amazing. And I also had situations like I talked about in the book, and where I said to myself, I guess this is just how it is. I guess this is just how it's supposed to be. That I need to be cautious, guarded, careful what you say. And I don't want that for anybody. And it does come from the inner work. And that's why this book means so much to me, because it's, talking to so many people, I know there are so many people in that seat right now and feeling it. And feeling like the only way to get out of it is to leave, and that might not necessarily be the case.
Yes, but there is another side to this. So
Yep.
the instincts, the instincts to move yourself forward and to
Yep.
get out of your comfort zone. Like if you're a leader and you made it to this point, you didn't make it here by accident. You worked hard to get here. You trusted yourself. So it's important to go back to trust yourself. Trust that if you want to share something about yourself, that it will be okay. And you could do it in little pieces. So you don't have to overwhelm yourself, but imagine if you could get out of your comfort zone. Imagine if you can share the impact that you made. Imagine if you can share your ideas and put yourself out there. Even if nobody around you was even interested, you would be a different person because you rose. You're not waiting in the corporate world. We're waiting for the outsides to give us permission. When we give ourselves permission and we go for it, we transform. Whether that organization wants it or not, we're a different person. And I think everybody around us benefits, but it's something that comes from within. It's your instincts that are there, that you trust them and you pull them out, and then you become who you're supposed to be.
Yeah, and as you're talking about that, because one of the things that I know you've heard me write about and speak about, but it's also in my book, is when we get to this place where, our instincts tell us to hold, to wait. We're at the edge of familiarity. So if you can picture this, that for me, it's like I'm standing in this bubble. I can see what's beyond it. But I try to walk forward and I just bump into it. Wait. It's not anything external that's saying, wait, it's me. And so the things that I think about is why is this coming up? Why am I reacting in the way I'm reacting? And, I can go back to so many situations and things that I'm dealing with right now. Even as I'm bringing this book to life, I was at my edge of familiarity. It's scary putting yourself out there, your thoughts out there. But what I have to remember is, if I don't, I'm not staying true to me. If I don't, people that are looking for help like this won't get it. That's the big thing for me. If I don't do this, the people that are looking for help with this won't get it from me. And, our contribution to the world begins with how we view our own growth. And when I think about my own growth, it's how I contribute to others. It's how I help others see those things. And so it's that curiosity to understand why you're reacting that way. And if you were curious and not so much critical or defensive, what would be different for you? What would be different? And how would you think and do differently from that?
I love that. Just so you know, I have a yellow pad. I love my yellow pad. I always take notes with the yellow pad, especially when Amy's speaking, because you say so many different gems, and I wrote down it's scarier to not be yourself. Like it really is. If you are not yourself, and it takes courage to be yourself, and it takes inner work to be yourself, you are out of integrity with yourself, and you're not happy. And there will always be something missing in your life. Now, I was thinking, I went back, what I was saying, could I've stayed in the work in the corporate world and made an impact? I guess that wasn't my path. Like I'm thinking that wasn't my path. I was meant to do this, and we're just the facilitators. We're the messenger. But I did have somebody that said, do this because people are waiting for you. Like the people you haven't met yet are waiting for you, and it's not about you. And it's always pushed me. It's pushed me to get out of my comfort zone, to write books, to do lives and videos, and because it's not about me. I have to, if I'm in the best place that I can be, and my vibration is the highest that I can be, then I really can serve the world.
And I love what you said. People are waiting for you. And so for those that are listening here, you're thinking about a decision you've been hesitating, that you haven't wanted to make yet, a step, whatever that is, a conversation. And you're stuck at your edge of familiarity. I love the idea of people are waiting for you. And I can imagine, Deborah, sometimes, for me, I don't necessarily know who those people are. Sometimes I do, because people are counting on you, and you know who's counting on you. But that's the beauty in it. You don't even realize the people you can impact, by stepping beyond your edge and allowing your instincts to move you and not hold you where you are.
Yep. All right. We have a question. It's a little bit of a loaded question, but
All
I'm
right.
going to bring it up.
Good.
So Deborah has a question. Amy, right? And I want to answer this too. Amy, do you think that male domination in the workforce has changed much?
Whew.
It's a tough question.
Well, I will say my current experience, it has changed a lot for the better. I don't feel it, me personally. I haven't been feeling that. In people I engage with, I'm hearing the same things I was experiencing, and particularly, the women that I coach, the conversations that I'm in. That is such a great question. I think it's still there, but I think we're getting better. I think people are getting it and understanding it. I think, though, too, I will say this. I grew up in male-dominated industries. I had a lot of great male mentors, and then I also had a really tough time working with some women, I will say. And that's unfortunate too. And I go back and I try to have empathy because I think we're all just trying to make it.
Yes. You know what?
Doing our best. We're all just trying to make it and do our best. And so there's no intention.
Yeah, but you know what I want to say? You know what? They were following the old instincts.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yes, for sure. And so that's the whole thing. Like the scripts that we're taught, you need to be perfect, have control, be certain. We need to make sure we're deepening our expertise. Perfection, just put that aside. That definition is different for everybody. Okay. And I am not side swiping anybody's expertise. I have a lot too. What we have to remember is when it's needed and when it isn't. And I think those are some of the things that people are now talking about, and where the care activator of leadership helps you interrupt those things to a place of more openness, understanding, and bringing out the brilliance in other people.
I love it. So what I'm about to say, no disrespect to any of the men that are here, okay, but I have to say it is, I think the men are exactly the same, right? Men are into power, domination, and ego. Right. So that has not changed. What has changed is the women. The women now have more seats at the table. They have more power. So they don't have to put up with it anymore. And they're not putting up with it anymore. The workplace is changing because women are getting more power and they see the importance of nurturance and empathy. That's why the workplace is getting better. The men are either going to rise or catch up, or they're not. But honestly, the women, they're passing them by.
Well, and yeah, and we're shaping what it's going to be, not what it could be, what it's going to be. And see, I mean, we still don't make up a lot of the C-suite. I mean, we're still less than 30%. Some industries are better than others. We have more work to do. And so I think that's why messages and conversations like this are so important. The one thing I was thinking about from my own experience, I wasn't taught to trust my confidence. And I was thinking about this the other day. Because then I'm like, well, should anybody really teach me to trust my confidence? Is that anybody's responsibility? I don't, it comes from within. Like, I always thought confidence came from other people. That's why I was so heavy on what people would think, say, ask, do, because it came from my experience. And we all have different experience. So when it comes to true to yourself, confidence comes from within. You have to choose it. And for us, as we think about the future of work, of leadership, it's, and the women, more women that are at the table of doing it. I've seen this quote before, so I don't know who to credit it to, but confidence means you're walking in and you're not having to compare yourself to anyone. I know I've seen this around a lot, so if I'm not crediting So
No,
they
it's a
submit
good
it.
quote.
Put
It's
your
a good quote.
put your name in the comments. But I've seen it so many times, but it's so true. It's so true. And so I think women now are looking at it that way more and more than ever. And I think that's a great thing. And I can't wait to see what the next 5 years brings on that.
Ooh, I like that. You know, we one person dropped off. I wonder if it was a man after I said what I said.
Well, let them come back, watch the replay, give it some thought. It's all good.
It is what it is. All right. So I love this. It goes quickly. So let's
Yeah,
start to wrap up. So is there anything that any closing thoughts you would like to leave?
yes. I would love to, if you would like to connect, I think there was a comment, how do I connect with both of you? If you can send a DM or, just click that connect button. My DMs are open, whether you're connected with me or not. So you can send a DM. At least I think it still works that way. So do that. Would love to do that. But if this conversation hits something for you and you're thinking about it, think of it in terms of what would the future me do? If I think about the future me, what would the future me do in this very moment? It's an important question because now we're looking at what we envision for ourselves. And would appreciate if you go support Unseen Leadership. The pre-sale campaign is happening now. So I've got a variety of different things, perks, which is awesome. It helps because I'm self-publishing. It's a boots on the ground effort to get this message out. Looking for my network and doing these kinds of things so people learn more about it. You can go to my profile. There's a few links you'll see on there. I'll put it in the comments as well, so you have it there. But get early access to parts of the book as well when you're in my community, and look forward to hearing what you all learn from it.
Well, Amy, I've joined your community. I've joined your beta group. I'm reading the book. I can't wait for part 2. I really mean this book moved something in me, and it gave
That's
me
awesome.
almost like a little courage to kick it up a notch and say,
Yeah.
okay, how can I get out of my comfort zone more? How can
Yeah.
I do things that scare me? These lives, they scare me. These lives
Yeah.
scare me. I do a lot of videos, and a few people have said that you like my videos, and I so appreciate that. But a video is easier because you can do a take. This is, live, like live. You put it out. There's a different type of vulnerability, but it's really excellent. So I'm telling you, this book is incredible, incredible. And I'm a writer. I've written 8 books, so I know.
Oh, I know. Yes.
I know a good book. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I want to thank everybody. I want to thank you, Amy, and I want to thank you for attending or listening to this replay of this session. You could have done anything with your time today, and you chose to do it with us. And if you really liked it, please leave us a comment and share this with your network. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everybody. Make it a great Monday.